Hello, and welcome to the first installment of I See You, See You. I'm your host, Chloe Sommer. I'm a freshman at the University of Colorado Boulder, and this podcast was created for CMCI 1010, a course in the university's newly formed College of Media, Communication, and Information. Today, we explore how CU Boulder has been educating its students on the threat of sexual assault on campus. A recent nationwide study by the U.S. Department of Justice reports that 1 in every 5 women is sexually assaulted during her time enrolled as a university student. And the majority of these women who are assaulted are not receiving help from a victim services agency. Seeking justice against sexual assailants is an uphill battle. Many survivors of sexual assault are forced to continue walking on the same campus as their assailant, or even going to the same classes as their assailants. It appears that universities are failing to act on victims' reports. However, not all hope is lost. Survivors of sexual assault have sprung into action to fight against the apathy of university administrators. Students across the nation have been filing lawsuits against their schools under Title IX, a federal law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex in any federally funded program. If a school knows about discrimination, harassment, or violence that is creating an unsafe environment for its students, Title IX requires that the school must act to eliminate it and remedy the damage. Survivors all over the country are filing lawsuits on these grounds. CU Boulder became one among the many schools with ongoing Title IX investigations after it received a complaint from student and assault survivor Sarah Gilcrease in 2013. Fast forward to present day, November of 2015. The investigation is still underway, but CU Boulder has been making some policy changes. The university now has an Office for Institutional Equity and Compliance, and its staff has been making changes on campus. They've been reforming the way assaults and harassment are reported, and the way the university responds to them. So the university seems to have things under control when it comes to dealing with crimes that have already been committed. But here is my question. What is CU Boulder doing to prevent these horrible assaults? Surely pain could be spared if students were all taught about sexual assault before they even arrived on campus. As of this year, the university requires all new incoming students to take just 2 required courses related to assault. The in-person seminar titled Effective Bystander Intervention, and the online course they're calling Community Equity. I sat down with freshman Ashley Hopko to talk about what she learned from each of these courses. The Effective Bystander Intervention missed its mark, according to Hopko. Rather than talking about consent and sexual assault, the seminar was somewhat ambiguous, suggesting that students should help people in all situations.
I thought they would talk a little bit more about sexual assault, but instead they kind of just more talked about what to do if you see someone laying on the ground. I thought maybe it was a little less important than what they could have done. They didn't really take advantage of the opportunity to teach us what we needed to know.
And the online course didn't quite get the job done either. Hopko says that the Community Equity online course had little to do with the specific issue of sexual assault.
They didn't really get down to the meat of the issue. It was pretty much just a general overview of what they wanted us to know. It was pretty much common sense. I didn't get that much out of it, personally.
Ashley Hopko is just one student opinion, but she brings up some valid concerns. Is the university really educating all of its students on sexual assault? And if not, is their safety at risk? Pete Simonson is a professor of communication at CU Boulder, and he decided to take the issue into his own hands. When designing a new course for his students, he found a way to implement sexual assault into his curriculum for a class based around the concept of conversation. I met up with Professor Simonson to discuss this new course.
We try to look at public conversations that are floating through the media and have face-to-face conversations about them and other topics of common concern. So within that context, we lay out some theory and theoretical concepts and then look at case studies. And one of the case studies we did this year was on campus sexual assault.
Simonson believes that the problem of sexual assault on college campuses is of utmost importance to teach his students.
If you look at the statistics, that 1 in 5 women will, over the course of their college career, be assaulted, and that the highest percentage is in the first semester of freshman year. It's a major public health, ethical, and political issue.
Within the lessons of his new course, Simonson has his students read articles and hold discussions on sexual assault, as well as watch The Hunting Ground, a recent documentary on university sexual assault and the Title IX movement that has gone along with it. Hopko is currently enrolled in the course and found the documentary to be enlightening.
I think that one video was more substantial and had more of an impact than anything else the university had done so far.
However, Hopko was one of many students in the mostly female class to notice an issue with the required film.
The fact that they only chose to show it to a female-dominated major was a little bit disturbing in my mind, because they talked about how the majority of the problem was with guys, not girls.
Simonson recognized the problem of gender ratio in his course, but as he was attempting to tackle the sexual assault issue independently, he made the most of his situation and taught the students who were enrolled in his course what he could.
One of my, particular audiences within the audience, and I want to make room for everybody to talk, but in particular, I want guys to understand that they can do something, that they should do something, that they should be intervening when they hear things or see things. And so to the extent that the incoming class has a relatively small proportion of guys, then that part of the mission is short-circuited a little bit.
But even though his gender ratio was less than ideal, Simonson believes that there will be particular advantages to teaching students in the College of Media, Communication, and Information. He says that his students could possess unique skills to make a difference on campus.
We'll have students who are, going out into the media. We have students who are media savvy. We have students who want to engage in social advocacy of one form or another. And we also, as a school of communication and media, want to take on difficult topics and find a way to address them with care and respect.
So for now, the university doesn't require substantial education on sexual assault for all students at CU Boulder. But independent forces like Pete Simonson could influence policy by setting an example for everyone on campus. Will CU Boulder's Office of Institutional Equity and Compliance do more to address prevention of sexual assault? If CMCI is making progress, the rest of campus may decide to follow in their footsteps. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see. Thank you so much for listening to this installment of I See You, CU. This is Chloe Sommer, tuning out.